If I had to start my ascension journey now in 2025, I certainly would do it differently. The energy is different, all the solar activity, things are accelerating. It's just a very different time than when I first awakened. In this video, I'm going to share with you the mistakes I made, what I would do differently, and what you can do to really step it up and accelerate your ascension process. When I look back on my awakening, I realize that there are certain things that I wish I had known at that time that really would have helped me along my journey of awakening at that time. And the biggest one probably is the fact that all the information, everything that you need is really within you, not external. When I first awakened, I was so gung-ho about validating or having to validate every experience that I was having that I would run to the internet and I would look for people that were having similar experiences, or I would look for gurus or maybe even coaches to be able to validate or reassure that in fact what I was going through was a spiritual awakening. I was constantly looking for validation. I would have synchronicities happening. I would have songs come on the radio. I would have telepathic connection with guides starting to come forward, and yet I still felt this need to validate everything externally. That's probably the biggest thing that I wish I knew when I awakened, really trusting what's happening internally, because your higher self is beneath all the noise. When you're constantly looking externally, you're in the external noise and you're not able to experience, to hear, to feel the subtleties of your guides and your higher self deep within. So going back to when I first awakened, that is the biggest thing that I wish I knew, that would have had such an amazing impact on my journey back then, just from the simple standpoint of learning to trust what was coming forward. Now, certainly, I want to say that the energy today is different than when I first awakened. Back in 2018, when I had that amazing opening and popped out of my body, the energy today is really, it's higher frequency. We're receiving so much light coming in from the central sun through our sun, and that light is a representative of you, your higher self, returning into this physical realm, into this universe, and it is moving at a much faster pace. This is a universe of motion, and as we continue to raise our vibration, energy starts to move faster. That's how we start to rise in frequency and reach into or start to experience higher frequency realities. But back when I first awakened, things were a little bit heavier. The veil was not quite as thin. So really what I realized looking back is that I was really being asked to embrace what was happening within and to start to trust. Okay, it's not to say that we don't want to look externally and try to find others that are sharing the experience, because that could certainly be supportive. But it's important to know that your awakening journey is an individual one within you, and you're going to be asked to turn inward to really process all of those unprocessed emotions, to really awaken the truth of who you are, and to become conscious of all of the unconscious programming and those limiting beliefs that have been keeping you small throughout your life. When you come to the point of an awakening moment, what happens is you truly become conscious of the fact that the identity that you've been living as is no longer serving you. You've outgrown it. And a lot of times we want to really hang on to that old identity. And it takes an element of trust to be able to dive inside and feel what's going on within. If you think about a river, it's kind of like just diving into the river and being carried with the current, trusting that you're going to get to the destination. You could resist that journey by trying to grab onto all of the tree roots and branches that are hanging over the river to slow down your progress because you're afraid to let go and trust. But when you let go and trust, you start to realize that the energy has my back. If I just trust, if I lean into the unknown, this energy is going to carry me to fantastic, amazing new frequencies. And those new frequencies start to open up that magic of your intuition, your third eye awakening, your guides, your star guides, your ET guides making themselves known. So back when I first awakened, really, if I had trusted a little bit more in the path and not been resistant to some of it and maybe forced some of it, I think I would have flowed with a little more grace, because now I know that the current of the energy always was supporting and always had my back. But honestly, looking back, I do realize that maybe at that point I didn't quite have the tools or the know-how to help really regulate myself, right? I talk about like leaning into the trauma and leaning into the density and feeling all of that so that you can really increase your energy movement, right? And get into that flow of the river and trust. But that's can be a very painful or uncomfortable process if you're just starting out on your journey. So when I look back to the beginning, I started to come across mentors and coaches who were really big on body work and breath work and connecting with the body. And I learned that the body was the bridge between the mind and the soul. So one thing that I might have done differently early on was really leaned into that, into these tools, into these techniques to really get my attention or my focus out of the external reality. Remember, trying to validate everything, trying to find others that were going through the same thing so I felt okay and safe, right? And start really focusing it inward using these tools that were brought into my awareness. Now, back then, I may not have thought that they were brought into my awareness by my higher self or by my guides, but looking back, I know that they were, at least initially, right? I wasn't so sure. You think that there's synchronicities, but you don't really know for sure, because I still had these limiting beliefs like, some of this stuff's a little weird and maybe there's just a little bit of coincidence to it, right? Now I know none of it was coincidence. So back then I would have leaned more into taking conscious action with intention on getting into my nervous system and really getting into my body and consciously assisting energy movement, getting energy moving, releasing stuck energy, and creating a peaceful, graceful, loving space for my nervous system to let go. This is the one thing I really resisted in the beginning, and I feel that that was something that didn't serve me, resisting that if I would have let go and trusted, because a lot of times you don't receive, immediate results when you start doing this deep energy work. But for me, I wanted results back then, instant. But if I would have trusted in that river, in that current, and continued to work with the energy within my body, getting energy moving, releasing stuck energy, creating a loving space so that my body could finally get out of fight or flight mode, that would have served me in amazing ways. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I did anything wrong, right? I call them mistakes. I call them mistakes from the current state of consciousness that I'm at, knowing what I know, knowing what I've experienced. That me that was handling all of this or living that experience back then did the best with what he could. And I have full love and support for that aspect of me. I wanted to throw that out there. You do not make mistakes. But what I am doing is sharing with you things that I might have done differently if I had known, if this version of me were available because I was awake enough back then to perceive it. I would have done these things earlier. And the purpose of me sharing this with you is to speak to you from the perspective of your higher self, to make you aware of the importance of getting into the body and consciously getting your energy moving. When you have stuck energy, you remain in a state of fear, a state of fight or flight. You don't feel safe within your body. So when you get in and you start getting energy moving, everything starts to shift and everything opens up. Once you feel safe in your body, you start to feel safe in the world, and you start to allow all of these amazing things to come in or drop into your experience. This is the exact thing that I teach in A New You. And if you're interested in learning more about that program, definitely register for my free Ignite Your Spirit Masterclass. That link is in the description. Now, what I want to talk about now is what you should avoid in this period that we're in now, this high frequency, receiving all of this energy in 2025 thing that is just really bringing up a lot of old stuff, right? What can you avoid to help keep you anchored to your highest timeline, to help keep you centered in your body and allow yourself to be able to navigate your awakening journey with grace? And that thing is really, the first thing is, don't compare yourselves to others, right? I did this when I first awakened. I was constantly comparing myself to other people. And the interesting thing was, I had a very unique connection with my guides. It was very telepathic, image-based, voice-based. I could literally have conversations with my guides. I was also able to download and channel and bring forward information that way. So I had a very interesting experience, but I spent a lot of time trying to find other people with similar experiences out there. So I was comparing myself to others. You are on your unique journey, and your journey is one that you have set up for you. You need to lean into and embrace however you get information as you continue to raise your vibration and tap into higher frequency dimensions, higher frequency realities. Your gifts will start to reveal themselves to you. And it may not be in a way that happens to others. It may not be like how I connect with my guides. You need to honor that information as it comes through you. It may be a feeling, it may be imagery, right? There are so many different ways that you can experience these higher dimensional fields. So we're in this state of this constant energy bombardment, all of this amazing high frequency light, and things are moving or accelerating very, very quickly. It's important to bring it back in, stay centered as best as you can, really anchor it and ground it into the body, and allow yourself to have the experiences that are meant for you. There are no mistakes. You are not doing it wrong. That's another thing that you should not do now, is judge yourself. Do not judge yourself that you are doing anything wrong. You're going to come across modalities that resonate for you. Maybe they don't resonate for others. Or maybe you're going to see things out there that resonate for a lot of people, and you're going to say, you know what, that's not doing it for me. You may have an aspect of you come up that says, well, maybe we need to shrink ourselves because I think what all of them are doing is what I should be doing. And that is a sign that you are ready to release those old limiting beliefs, release that old aspect of you that has been keeping you small, right? So honor what feels right. Honor what works for you. If it's breath work, fantastic. If it's yoga, amazing. If it's sound baths, great. If it's nature walks, whatever it is for you, lean into that now. Things are moving so fast that sometimes it's hard to tell if you're in that right time slot, in that right zone, right? Because you're constantly moving in and out of different frequencies throughout your day. So it's important to stay present in the body, keep your energy moving, and that will allow you to be a little bit more aware of the subtle energy that is your guidance that is starting to come through. We're in an amazing point in our journey collectively that all of this amazing high frequency energy is available to you, and your guides are holding space for you, just waiting for you to lean into it and trust. And trusting means let go of these old, outdated ideas of what your awakening should look like. Your awakening is exactly what it is in this moment. What you're feeling now is what you need to honor, and let go of those needs to constantly judge yourself and tell you that you're not doing something right. So there are a few things that you can do each and every day that are really going to help to fast track this entire process for you, to really help you take advantage of the amazing light, the amazing connection with your guides, the amazing connection with the Akashic records, right? That's available to us today, things that weren't quite as available when I first awakened. And the first thing you can do is get started right in the morning. As soon as you wake up, bring it back to your body. Help your consciousness, who's been out traveling about in the astral field all night, get back in and anchor it in, because you are meant to be here in this physical vessel. Bring that consciousness in first thing in the morning. Put your hand on your heart, take a few breaths, scan your body. Where are there anything that feels off, any aches, any pain? Sit, focus energy into that, breathe into that, and then you allow your feet to hit the floor, right? So that's the first thing you do throughout your day. That sets your vibration at a higher baseline so that you don't start the day like down here. You're starting it up here. You're more conscious, you're more aware. Now, throughout your day, it's important to go back to that centered state. If you do this throughout your day, what I'm going to share with you next, you're going to realize that you're no longer going to have those days where your vibration tanks. Okay, you're going to elevate it in the morning, doing what I just explained to you, and then maybe it's going to drift down a little bit, but you're going to recenter throughout your day and you're going to kick it right back up, maybe even higher. And the next time it may start to drop a little bit and you're going to catch it and you're going to kick it up even higher. That is returning to your body throughout your day. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how you feel. It is important throughout your day to remember that you are going on this awakening journey, that you are in the midst of it, and that you are a multidimensional being, and you are awakening to the fact that you're a multidimensional being. That connection, as I said earlier, is the body, the bridge between the mind and the soul. You want to bring it back to the body throughout your day. Every hour, every couple of hours, simply close your eyes, find a quiet spot. It could be in nature. If you work in an office, it could be in an office. Shut your door, go into the space in the hallway. Wherever you can find a quiet space throughout your day, start to bring it back to the body. Breathe into your heart space, close your eyes, connect with your body, do one of those quick scans, and bring attention to the areas that your body says it needs attention. There's areas in your body that are trying to awaken, is trying to get your attention. Maybe your back, your lower back's a little sore, right? Bring attention to it. Put yourself in a little position where you can feel that discomfort and squeeze it and breathe, right? That's going to get energy moving. That releases stuck energy. You create more space and you can download and integrate more of your higher self. Do this throughout your day. Shortly after I awakened, I had a Post-it note, and then it went to a note on my phone, a reminder, where I would remind myself throughout my day to breathe, that I am a multidimensional being. And that reminder would come up, I would stop what I'm doing, and I would bring it back to the body and restore that connection. And you know what? If I felt like my vibration was dropping, I restored it with those little breaks throughout the day. I kicked it right back up. So it was never getting down really, really low. When you do that consistently, what happens is your nervous system starts to remember what it feels like to be peaceful, to be loved, to be confident, to be worthy, because you are taking those few moments to close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and breathe into your body and reconnect with it. That is creating a loving space, and your nervous system will respond to that, and it will start to become that. I assure you, if you follow that tip and do that day in and day out, 2-3 weeks from now, you are going to find that you are moving or navigating your days with confidence, with love, and with grace, and certainly from a more centered, aligned, and peaceful perspective. Once I started doing that, that was a huge, huge game changer. So I wish I had started that earlier in my journey, but that's okay. I'm there now, and that's what's important. So don't judge yourself. That's the next thing. Just remember, there is no judging yourself. There is no right, there is no wrong when it comes to this journey. There is simply experience. And if you try something and it doesn't resonate with you, then try something else. You leave that where it's at and you move on to the next thing. And the more clear you get, the more your guidance is gonna come through. If this video landed for you, I definitely would love to hear in the comments where you're at on your journey. Like this video and subscribe if this is the first time you're listening to me. I am looking forward to sharing more amazing content with you. I am so grateful that you're here, and know that if you could implement some of these tips, you're going to start to see amazing shifts in your life. I'm so excited for this. I am so excited for you. Thank you.